I'll show you how I installed this Midland MXT275 GMRS radio discreetly under the dash of my 5th Gen 4Runner.
So I've always wanted to install a hardwired GMRS radio in my 5th Gen 4Runner. Now I do have handhelds that I use or used to use, but I wanted to install a hardwired version. Now the new MXT line from Midland provides you some great flexibility, and the flexibility that I was looking for. So I can operate everything from the handset. I can change channels, change the volume, and so on. And I don't even need access to the head unit. So given that, I can install this thing under the dash or hidden away, and just operate the radio from the handset. My goal was to be able to install the radio in such a way that it's visible when I'm using it, right? When I'm on a trip, I have the handset connected, I have my holder on, I have the antenna on the roof. But when I'm not using it, I can stow everything away and nothing's visible. No one would ever even know that I had the radio installed. So that was my goal. I know some folks have done the same thing. They've either installed them in the glove box, in the center console, but I didn't even want to have them visible there. So I found a location under the dash, and I'll show you where that is, although it was a bitch to install, I really think the challenge was worth the effort because it is in a location that is really out of the way and not visible. So if you're interested, stay tuned and check out my video. So we have the Midland 15 watt GMRS radio, and this is the micro mobile. This is the new version. Now this is the 15 watt version. I know there's a higher power version. But I like the size of this, and this is going to meet my needs. I don't need that. I think it's a 50 watt version. So I bought this kit. It's a kit, so it includes the ghost antenna. Now I bought this unit. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my videos, the shots where I'm on my bench. You've probably seen my Midland handhelds. Now I've been using these for the last couple years, and they work just fine. But I always wanted a hardwired one. I was thinking about going with the previous version of the Midland hardwired, but I'd like how this is really stealthy. I'm going to be able to hide this unit and unplug the handheld and stow it away when I'm not using it. So I mean, you would never know that I even had this. So I really like that, and that's why I waited for this version. But these handhelds are nice. You know, they have limited range. I'll still use them. I think it would be kind of cool to have them in the vehicle. Maybe somebody spotting me, or we're doing a recovery, and having a handheld is super nice as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll be using those still, but I'm looking forward to getting this installed. I did purchase one more thing. Now, as I mentioned, I want to be able to have a stealthy install. A real clean install. So I've been looking for ways to do that. On Instagram, I found this guy. His name's 4Runner Matt. But he makes these nice nylon RJ45 jacks that fit into the cutout of the 4Runner. So I'm going to be inserting this in the blank that's next to the push button start, and then I'll be able to plug in the handheld for the radio right through there, and when I'm not using it, I can detach it. What I really liked about the part that Matt manufactures, there are others out there, and you know, they have lights and indicator lights and things like that, which I really don't want. And this is just nice and clean, and you know, if you weren't looking for it, you would never know that it's even there. So kudos to Matt for making this. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing. So I got the manual, got a sticker. the antenna lead. Got the handheld receiver. The radio itself, of course. It's nice and compact. It has this this mount. So we got the 12-volt power. I'm gonna probably be cutting this and just hardwiring it. Actually, not probably, I will be doing that. This is the, I bought the kit with the high gain antenna. So I got two antennas basically. So I got this little whip antenna and then this high gain antenna. This is just an RJ45 or Cat 6 microphone extension cable. This is the antenna mount that I'm going to be using to, I think I'm going to be cutting this. My plan is to cut this and mount it to my roof rack. So, to be determined yet. I haven't quite figured that out. And then a little dash mount receiver hook. Not sure I'm going to use this, but those are the parts. Okay, let me show you where I'm thinking about installing this. So I know a lot of folks have either installed them in their glove box, installed them in the center console, and in order to do that, you know, you're ripping up a lot of stuff. You're taking apart a lot of things, and I don't know that it's really all that necessary to do. I think a better place is under the dash, where it's a bitch to get to, but let me take a look. Let me show you here. Okay, let me try this again. I ended up taking out my fire extinguisher because that thing was digging in my back. So now I'll be able to get in there a little bit easier. But let me show you where I'm going to be, at least I'm going to attempt to install that base unit. So I'm going to crawl in here under the dash, and hopefully I can get a good shot here. So here are the heater pipes, and then there's this bracket right here. It's up pretty high in the dash. I think that's a really good spot to hang that base unit. So anyway, we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. And then I plan to use this blank here. This is where I'm going to put that RJ45 connector right below the push button start. So I will just be able to, you know, plug in that handheld portion or the mic portion there when I need it. So I got the bracket up in there, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a bitch. But so with some trial and error, I marked some holes and I drilled them out and got it attached to that bracket. Thing's pretty sturdy, and I'll be able to then, you know, slip this radio up in here. And there you go. Things are nice and out of the way. I think that's going to work well. Get the power wire hooked up. I'll get the antenna connected, and then we'll go from there. So in the meantime, I'll pop this out. Though I need two hands. So let me show you what we got going on here. So I've got the radio just sitting here on the ground, and I got it wired to the cigarette lighter just temporarily, just to make sure everything's working. I've got a patch cable running to this new, let me grab a light here, grabbing to this new insert in my dash, thanks to 4Runner Matt. And I've got my mic, a handheld mic, connected to that. I've also got my antenna just sitting here. The purpose of this test is just to make sure everything's working before I strap the radio up in its new location. So I've got my handheld radio sitting right here, and I'm gonna grab my mic from the new radio, try to walk away as far as I can from the other one because it's gonna get some squelch noise. And if I talk into the mic, I hear that it is now transmitting on that other radio too. So everything seems to be working. So I've got the radio now hardwired using an add-a-fuse connection. Now I'm working on running the antenna lead through the firewall. If you remember, I mentioned I was going to cut down this bracket and attach it to my roof rack for the ghost antenna. So I have some nuts slid into my rails and I'm just attaching it. We'll get this tightened up and in position to be able to accept the ghost antenna. I also bought this cap, and I could put a link in the description below. What this does, it just, when I don't want to be running the ghost antenna, or if I want to be parking in my garage or a low clearance area, I won't be running that all the time, so I could just take the ghost antenna off, put this on, and it will protect the threads and keep the rain off of that connection. So here's a look at the ghost antenna from this angle. Attached to my rack. Get the wires run down the rack, down the channel, and into the engine bay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or questions, just hit me up in the comment section below. Consider subscribing to my channel, give me a thumbs up, as that incentivizes me to create additional content. See you next time.